What's going on, people? It's your boy, that's my back again with another video. And as I told you, I'm trying to be consistent for you. So if you don't mind, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. And hit that notification bell. So whenever I drop a video, you'll be the first to know. Guys, the international break is over. But that means football is back. And today, I'm going to be previewing the games I'm going to be watching over the weekend. Let's get into it. Starting off with Friday's game, the two games I'm going to be watching is Leverkusen against Frankfurt. And that game's going to be interesting to see because obviously Leverkusen, they sacked Erik ten Hag. And they brought in the Danish coach. I'm not quite sure of his name, but they brought him in and it's going to be interesting to see how they set up. He's another back three manager from what I remember with him at the Danish national team. He loved playing a back three, so it does suit the lineup, especially with Teller and Grimaldo. And there are some signings I'm looking forward to see from Leverkusen side, the likes of Elis Ben-Seghir and Ibrahim Maza. I've really enjoyed watching him. Jerome Kwan's at the back. They've lost a lot of players, to be fair. I mean, Hradecki, Hinkapie, Frimpong, Xhaka, who else left? Wirtz, Adli, Boniface. So they lost a lot of key guys and they didn't really play well, but they play Frankfurt, who've been really good to start the season. Obviously, they lost Ugo Ekitike, but they have this knack for producing very good youngsters in the likes of Can Uzun, who's, I think, the next one up. Obviously, they signed Eli Awahi last season, and don't be shocked if he has a breakout season. But the likes of Hugo Larsson as well, he's another one to watch out for. And they also signed Japanese winger Ritsu Duan, who had a really good game last season, last game. But with that in mind, I'm going to say, I think because of new manager bounce, I think Leverkusen will probably get a draw. The next game I'm going to watch is Marseille against Lorient. I mean, I watched them both at the same time. Marseille, to start the season, I had them finishing second in Liga, but the 3 games they've played, I've been really disappointed. I mean, they couldn't beat 10 men Rennes to open the weekend, and then they had to huff and puff against newly promoted Paris FC, and then the last game they played was Lyon, where they absolutely got destroyed. But if they can't beat Lorient, then they've got big problems going up. But I think they're going to win that one comfortably, considering it's at home as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to say Marseille 3, Lorient 0. Then we move on to Saturday. And the first game I'm going to be watching is Arsenal Football Club against Nottingham Forest. Now, to be frankly honest, if Nottingham Forest had Nuno Espirito Santo in the dugout for them, I would have actually said they might get something out of there, considering how good they are defensively and how good they can break on the counter-attack, considering Arsenal's weakness is also they struggle against low blocks. However, they sacked, or let's say Nuno left by mutual consent, and they brought in the big Aussie, Ange Postecoglou. And one thing about Ange, he loves a high line, but maybe he will adapt and maybe push that line a bit back, because Forest were known for that defensive structure. So to go from that defensive structure to change from that to go all out gung-ho attacking, maybe that might be a problem for them. But Arsenal, I don't know if William Saliba was going to start that game, and I'm guessing Odegaard probably going to come back for that game, considering he did play over the international break. Bukayo Saka, I'm not quite sure as well, but this is what they have. They did sign a lot of players, so the likes of Mosquera, who looked good against Liverpool, he can play there. Noni Madueke, he can play there in his natural position. Will we see Ebere Eze? That's going to be a big question. From Forest's side, I believe Ola Aina is out for this game because he got an injury over the international break, so that's going to be a big miss for them. So I'm guessing Savona might come in, or Nico Williams might switch to right back. I don't know, but that's my thing in mind. So with that in mind, I've gone Arsenal winning comfortably 3-1. 3-0. 3-0 Arsenal. I'm going to say Victor Gyökeres will score. Declan Rice, he likes having those late attacking goals. And I'm going to say Riccardo Calafiori. They love a set piece goal, so might as well. The next game I'm going to watch is Real Madrid against Real Sociedad. Now, Real Madrid, one thing we've learned under Xabi Alonso this season is they are much better defensively. I mean, I think they have the lowest XG against in La Liga this season. But offensively, it hasn't yet clicked. But offensively, it's a matter of when, not if. Now, I think the big news for them is Eduardo Camavinga is back for them. So, personally, we might, if I was Xabi Alonso, I'd drop Mastantuano because I just think he's not ready to start yet. And you're putting a lot of pressure to I think he's 17-year-old, C17 on him to be starting week in, week out for them. So I'd drop him, bring in Camavinga, move Arda Güler maybe to that right-hand side and then put Camavinga in that midfield. But that's just me. Obviously, they play Sociedad, who they've been alright to start the season, but I'm going to go Real Madrid to win 2-0. Kylian Mbappe, I mean, if he can stay on side, because the last game, oh my God, he could not stay on side to save his life. And I'm going to say Kylian Mbappe gets a goal, and I'm going to say, why not, Vinicius Jr. to get the other goal. The next game I'm going to watch is Spurs against West Ham. So, the Hammers will host Spurs, and it'll be interesting to see because they got their first win going into the international break, a 3-0 win at the City Ground at Forest. Obviously, we're going to see like the new signings, Christopher Mawisa, the midfielder from Monaco they signed from. Matheus Fernandes played last week, so we're going to see him again. Lucas Paqueta stays, despite the whole controversy. Is he going? Is he not? So it's going to be interesting to see them. And obviously, Mohamed Kudus is going back to the London Stadium. Let's see what kind of reception he gets. It's going to be interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see who starts up top for Spurs. Are they going to go Richarlison or are they going to go Colomwani? That's a whole other question. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing Xavi Simons. That's another one. Is he going to play out wide? Is he going to play at number 10? Does that mean Sarr's going to get dropped? A lot of questions are going to be asked there. But with that in mind, it's a weird one because Spurs never really win at the London Stadium. Like West Ham's kind of been their bogey team for a while, I think. But I'm going to go 2-2. I think that's got a draw written all over it. 2-2, I'm going to say from West Ham side, Jared Bowen, Lucas Paqueta penalty. And from a Spurs side, I'm going to say Mohamed Kudus and I'm going to say Brennan Johnson. Back post tap in, Brennan Johnson. The next game I'm going to watch, I will kind of watch these games simultaneously at the same time. Bayern München against Hamburg. Now, Bayern, to start the season, they have been phenomenal. 4 wins out of 4 to start the season. 4 wins out of 4. 3 wins out of 3 to start the season. Apologies. They've scored in every game. I think they've scored, what was it? Off my notes here, they scored 13 goals to start the season, but they did concede 2 goals in their last game. I think was it against Mainz, I believe. But yeah, obviously Nicholas Jackson. There was that whole saga. They're going to sign him. Chelsea called him back, and in the end, he ended up going. He's going to be in the squad for them. For Bayern, they just need to keep everyone fit because they have a very, very thin squad. I think, especially in the attack. The Nicholas Jackson signing is a good signing, but it does like paper over the cracks because I think they need another left winger. They signed Luis Diaz, but they didn't bring in another left winger. Obviously, got the youngster Lennart Karl. Defensively, they had some injuries as well with Alphonso Davies at midfield. The youngster Eric Bischoff is also out. So obviously, and Jamal Musiala is also out. So for them, they got to just stay fit. But with that in mind, I'm going to go Bayern 3-0 win. Harry Kane, Mikel Olise, and Luchito Diaz. The final game of Saturday I'm going to watch will be Chelsea against Brentford. And I'll be honest, that was a weird one because Chelsea, again, Brentford has kind of been their bogey team. They have got known the knack for beating them, but that was under Thomas Frank. So will Maresca fall for it? Maybe, but I'm going to go Chelsea to win. I think they have so many attacking options. Obviously, Liam Delap's out. I don't know if Cole Palmer is back for this game. So that's going to be an interesting one. And by the way, by the time I'm recording this, they've just announced they're signing Emmanuel Omega for next season from Strasbourg. I wonder how hard that was. But yeah, I've got Chelsea winning 3-1. 3-1 win. I'm going to say goal scorers will be João Pedro, Pedro Neto, and Enzo Fernandez. Scratch that out. João Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, and Marco Correa. Those are my goal scoring options. On to Sunday. First game I'm going to watch will be Burnley against Liverpool. And obviously, we are going to see Alexander Isak in a red shirt for the first time this season. So, there's so many question marks. I presume Ekitike is going to be the one starting because Isak hasn't played a single minute in pre-season for Newcastle. And even to start the season, he wasn't in the squad. So, maybe there's that. Obviously, Conor Bradley's back for them. So, I don't know if if he's gonna start at right back, or they're gonna continue with Dominic Szoboszlai there, because he's kind of done really well there. So there's that, and also, yeah, those are the only question marks I have with Liverpool. So with that in mind, I'm gonna say Liverpool win 3-0. 3-0. Goal scored by Mohamed Salah, Alexis McAllister, and Cody Mattis Gakpo. The next game I'm going to watch is, well, I'll watch these two simultaneously at the same time. But I'll start with PSG against RC Lens. And PSG, obviously, they suffered some big injuries. Ousmane Dembele and Desiré Doué are the two players that got injured over the international break for France. But I do think the Dembele one is the bigger miss, because with the Doué one, I expect Barcola to come in. But for the Dembele one, obviously he plays as that false nine who can he drifts around. So I think maybe Lee for profile is probably the one that's going to come in. But I expect Gonzalo Ramos to start down the middle. But despite those injuries, I do think PSG will win this game. I'll say 3-1, because Lens, to start the season, they've been a little shaky. Obviously lost to Lyon, and they won the next game. And I forgot how they did in the third game. But anyway, comment down below what they did in the third game. But I've got PSG winning that one. Then we have the big one, the Manchester derby, probably the game of the week. Oh my God, I missed that one game. Saturday, another game I'm going to be watching, the Derby d'Italia, Juventus against Internazionale. Now, that game, before I go to the Manchester derby, I missed out that game. So that game, it's a tough one, because like this one's Denny form goes out the window. Last season, the amount of times when Inter been like on the top and like Juventus have been not on the top, but like you see like how many times you under Allegri they come out and win. Last season we saw them battle, like Inter went 4-2 up. Next thing you know, Juventus are tied 4-4, and then the second game it's a Conceição winner that gives Juventus the lead. Now, obviously, Juventus are missing some key guys. Andrea Cambiaso suspended. Conceição's injured. So those are some big misses. So one thing I don't want to see Kalulu wing back. I'd like put that in the bag. Jean Mario right wing back, left wing back Filip Kostic. And with Conceição being out, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come in. Is Zagoffa going to start his first game? Obviously, Zagoffa, Luis Openda, some deadline day signings they made. Who's going to come in? Most likely, I expect Zagoffa to come in. And now, the front three is going to be Zagoffa, David, and Yildiz. So he's the one to watch for the Inter side, for Juventus side. On the Inter side, obviously they lost the last game against, was it Torino? No, they lost their last game. I think was it Torino? They lost 2. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, comment down below who it was. But they lost 2-1. It'll be interesting to see who comes in, who's going to start in that midfield. Because personally, I don't think Hakan is still it. I think if their best midfield, in my opinion, is Sukic, Barella, Mickey, and even Mickey, you're kind of pushing it. And it'll be interesting to see if Akanji maybe starts in this first game, because Bisek was a bit shaky in their last game, but that's just me. But anyway, with that in mind, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, goal scored by Kenan Yildiz from Juventus and Denzel Dumfries of Internazionale. Anyway, the big one, the Manchester derby. Manchester City against Manchester United. Both teams coming in on some shaky form, both of which have won one win out of their first 3 games. From United side, Mason Mount and Mateus Cunha are both out for this game, and it is reported that Altay Bayindir will start in goal despite them signing a new goalkeeper. It'll be interesting if Benjamin Šeško starts in this game. Personally, I think United might go with Joshua Zirkzee, with Bruno Fernandes and Brahim Mbeumo in behind them. And it'll be interesting to see if Ahmad starts right wing back or Mazraoui, because Dalot is also out. I don't know if Dalot's out for this game, but he did miss the national duty with Portugal, so that'll be interesting to see. And also midfield, does Kobe Manu get a start in this, or does he go with 2 number 6s in Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro? From a Manchester City side, obviously Ryan Shaqiri is out for this game. Omar Marmoush got injured in the international break, so he's also going to be out for this game. So it'll be interesting to see I'm guessing the attack will probably be Doku. Phil Foden, I don't know what's happened to him, but maybe he'll come in for this game. But I'm guessing it's going to be Doku, Bernardo Silva, Doku, and Bob, maybe. And then the midfield of probably double pivot of Rodri and Reinders. But it'll be interesting to see who starts in goal. Do they go with the young Trafford who's played all 3 games, or serial winner Donnarumma? But throwing him in the deep end in a Manchester derby is kind of weird. But it's kind of a weird one because, funny enough, yeah, in their last 5 games, Ruben Amorim has only lost once to Man City. But last season they played. Obviously, we had that late winner by Ahmad in December, and then they had that boring 0-0, which was so bad. I think it was like during Easter time. So with that in mind, they're both bad at the moment. But I'm gonna say United win. I'm gonna say again 2-1. Bruno Fernandes penalty and Benjamin Šeško. On the other end, that big Norwegian guy's going to score for them, Erling Haaland. The last game I'm going to watch, the last 2 games I'm going to be previewing. One of them is Lyon against Rennes. Lyon started the season really, really well. I'll be honest, 3 wins from 3 without even conceding a single goal. Now, they did lose some key guys. Obviously, they lost Ryan Cherki, Thiago Almada, Alexander Lacazette, and on the last couple of days, because to raise money, they had to sell, unfortunately, George's Mikhail Tadze. But they do have some good young players. Shout out Alejandro Rodriguez. He's looked really good. Malik Fofana, he can really make a breakout this season. Tyler Morton in midfield looked really, really good for them. As for Rennes, it's an interesting one. They started the season really well. They won against Marseille. They won against Marseille, and I think they drew the next game. And I don't know how they did the last game, but with that in mind, I'm gonna say, because they're away from home, I'm gonna say Lyon 2-1 win. Yeah, 2-1 win for Lyon, because and then the last game I'll be watching this at the same time will be Barcelona against Valencia. Now, Barcelona, 2 wins out of 3 to start the season. Obviously, they drew their last game against Rayo Vallecano. Now, this game is winnable. Valencia can get something out of this game because that high line for Barcelona has been very, very vulnerable to start the season. Like the last game against Rayo Vallecano, if it wasn't for Juan Garcia, they would have lost that game because he kept them in that game. But I do think that the attacking prowess of Barcelona, I'll be honest, Barcelona could be 3-0 down at halftime and I'll still be confident they'll come back and win. But the attacking prowess of Barcelona will get them through. It'll be interesting to see who starts in the back line because obviously the partnership last season was Kubasi and Inigo, but with Inigo departing, it has been Inigo, Kubasi and Araujo. But the last game, it was Kubasi and Eric. So we'll see if Eric Garcia starts. It was Eric Garcia and Christensen, funny enough. I think Kubasi will come back into it. And personally, I think their better partnership is Kubasi and Christensen. And I think at right back, it should be Koundé. And then in the attack, it'll be interesting to see if it's Lewandowski finally coming in or Ferran also still starting up top, because he has 2 goals out of 3 games, but he is not clinical. He does miss a lot of chances. And then also, I'm guessing Yamal and Rafinha should be the 2 starting out wide. So with that in mind, I'm going to say Barcelona win 4-1. Goal scored by Lamine Yamal, Rafinha with a brace, and I'm going to say Marcus Rashford gets a goal. Yeah, Marcus Rashford gets a goal. So those are my predictions. If there's any other game you want me to preview, comment it down below. And as always, remember to like and subscribe for more. Smash that like button if you got to the end. And probably at the end of each of these days, I'll probably do a recap on those days, reviewing those matches. So stick around for them. And as always,